Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Crypto Space. In today's video, we are going to cover ICP, its recent price action, a couple of tweets and a couple of altcoin charts as well. So if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and of course a quick disclaimer that this video isn't a financial advice. You should do your own due diligence and research before investing into any crypto project. So now, without any further ado, let's hop into ICP itself. ICP is currently trading at $13.16, and as we can see over here, we have a little bit of leg down on ICP of 1.8%. So I don't really think this is bad, but I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Okay, so let's have a look at market cap. Market cap is currently sitting at $6.1 billion, and 24-hour trading volume is sitting at 129, well, almost 130 million USD. So as we can see over here, we are pretty much trading sideways for ICP. But let's firstly have a look at this bullish thing for ICP. So I have covered that in my previous updates for ICP, but I do think that this is something important to point out. Internet Computer has overtaken Cardano, Polkadot, and Kasuma as the most developed project in the past 30 days. So this is a big thing, all right? This is something that we should have to keep in mind on. And of course, another bullish thing, we have another meetup of ICP Hub in Turkey. So obviously that's great. We had so much of developments in so many different countries for ICP, and obviously that can mean only one thing: adoption is coming. So now let's talk a little bit of numbers over here for ICP. As we can see over here, the total staked ICP is currently at 47.7%, so nothing really has changed in the recent few days. So if we are going to look at DeFi Llama, and if it comes to TVL, ICP is currently sitting at $11.2 million. So as we can see over here for TVL, it doesn't really look nice, but as I said before, I do believe that this is caused due to the fact of unstaking ICP and most likely selling profits. So as we can see over here, things are still all right, because if I'm going to pull up at call developers, as we can see over here, that growth is huge. So obviously that is just a beginning of the bull cycle. Now let's finally have a look at the chart. So if you are following my updates for ICP, I am still pretty much keeping the same thesis that ICP is going to see a bullish breakout around that area. As we can see over here, ICP is constantly trading in higher highs, which obviously is inside of that ascending triangle, and we are going to see a pump. Well, in my opinion, not a financial advice, of course. And why do I think so? So if we are going to look at BTC weekly chart over here, we see that we are pretty much stopped at that line of resistance over here. And if I'm going to switch to daily, looks like BTC is being rejected. And of course, we also have to bear in mind that on a daily, the RSI is currently sitting at 78, so that is overbought territory for BTC, and we might see a little bit of pullback, which obviously means that BTC dominance is going to drop a little bit, and it's going to give alts a possibility to go higher. So on the top of that, I would like to also show a couple of interesting charts for alts as well. So this altcoin line will be stronger than 2021, more like 2017. So as we can see over here, coming back to 2013, as long as we exited from that Wyckoff accumulation over here, we had that pump above that resistance line over here, and we had a little bit of retest, and after that we saw that huge parabola. So we are basically in that retest area over here. However, we have already pulled back, and looks like we are having a green light to go much higher. And if that wouldn't be enough, let's have a look at this chart over here for alts, and of course ICP included. So altcoin market cap has broken out of the accumulation phase, and it's now in an uptrend. So obviously that is a green light over here according to this chart as well. And of course, shoutouts to the Scalping Pro on X. So if I'm going to show you this chart over here, that chart is also very important to look at. So altcoins are about to explode. As we can see over here, we have broke above that neckline, and that is our first breakout on alts. And if we are going to go back to the previous bull cycles in 2015, as we can see over here, we had this first breakout that we have already experienced. Then we had the second breakout and then the parabola, just like in the previous bull cycle as well. The first breakout and then the second breakout and then all-time highs. So we are basically going towards the second breakout, and after that I do believe it's going to be a bigger parabola. But all right, let's have a look at this chart over here. That's something that I was pretty much showing you guys in the previous updates as well, but I do believe that this is also important to point out. So we are pretty much exiting that accumulation zone, so be ready. And now let's have a look at that. If all of the charts weren't convincing you that we are entering a huge parabola for alts, that is the most bullish signs we can ever get. We have flipped green on the Gaussian channel on the weekly charts for alts. So obviously all of that is going to be basically printing a perfect picture for ICP, seeing levels of $20. And now if I'm going to switch it, if I'm going to look at the RSI over here, guys, as we can see over here, we are at healthy RSI of 56. And if I'm going to measure the percentage over here for RSI on ICP, that's roughly 58%. So let's say if I'm going to take the same measuring tool and put 58, around 60%, as we can see over here, that pretty much coincides with that area of that resistance and potential target in that vicinity. Anything between $20, $21 and $24. That's what I see in the coming days. But of course, that isn't a financial advice, guys, right? So I could be wrong. Now let's have a look at this last piece of chart over here. This is something to bear in mind as well of where we are in the cycle as well. So as we can see over here, we are pretty much over here in a bull trap territory, or at least that's how it's called in terms of the belief of the retail investors, right? So as we can see over here, it's still below all-time high and people are not pretty much buying. So this is something important to remember about, because many people are going to buy over here when we are going to reach that euphoria. People are going to buy at almost the peak of all-time high and they are going to sell with loss. So I do hope that you are guys not going to be this part of retail investors and you are going to be selling that top, or obviously close to it. All right then, that's it for today's update. Thank you very much for watching, and peace and love, crypto.